First of all, this talk borrows from a lot of conversations I've had with people, largely on the AP Statistics listserv. Jason Molesky, Chris Olson, David Bach, Floyd Bullard, you might know some of these names. I don't remember what came from whom, so they get credit for anything good that I say. Many of us work in a situation where our department or our school or our district mandates a particular grading scale. The first point I want to make is that anyone outside of your classroom telling you how to grade is absurd and insulting and meaningless. They are meaningless partly because the word percent is meaningless without the of what. We're math people, we should get that. Yet even on the AP Stats listserv, people will talk being concerned about their students. They're scoring about a 65 on average, even without the of what. We have a better understanding of what a C plus means than what a 78 means. C plus means they're not doing that well. 78 means nothing, or at least it should. Some districts decide they're going to raise standards, so they raise the grading scale from 90, 80, 70, 60 to 93, 85, blah, blah. But I would argue this has the opposite effect. It forces teachers to expect less of students. I can't ask challenging questions if I'm going to expect 70% to pass the class. This is the cut scores for the 2007 AP Statistics exam. 5 is considered the best you can do. The 2002 exam, you'll notice, has a very different scale. I submit that the whole idea of a fixed grading scale is absurd. To think that even before you write a test, before you know the content that's on it, you know that a student scoring 80% of the possible points is a B. ETS doesn't even do that, and grading and writing tests is all they do. Then we got this idea of averaging test scores. So a student takes a test and bombs it, but later figures it out, gets an A on the test, clearly demonstrating the mastery. But that quiz score drags the grade down. Is that grade showing what the student knows? Or worse yet, we put a zero in for a missed quiz. That can devastate a grade. Is a D minus really that much better than not doing an assignment? I mean, I see a D minus as very minimal mastery of content. I see the increment between missing an assignment and a D is about the same as a D and a C. A grading scale based on a 4-3-2-1-0 is much more stable in this regard. Some districts have mandated the 90, 80, 70, 60 scale, so a fix that makes it mathematically equivalent is to put the minimum at 50. The idea that the percent somehow makes sense. But it's really just assigning a number to a numerical scale for the purpose of calculating an average. Some districts like the idea so much they mandate the minimum percent of 50. But that's a fix if you're forced to use 90, 80, 70, 60. Why not just mandate 4-3-2-1-0? So what do we do instead? Well, we acknowledge that a professional judgment is an important part of the grading process. I'm behind my slides. We see where the score falls and look for natural breaks and use our judgment to decide what paper makes an A, what makes a B, and so on. So the bottom line is we need to ask ourselves, what is a grade? What does a grade do? And I believe that a grade should accurately communicate about achievement, period. That seems like it should simplify things, but it complicates them when we consider practice, mine included. We complicate it by doing things like docking points for late work, giving extra credit for behaviors, and giving points for homework completion. If 2 students demonstrate equal achievement on a project, but one loses 10% of the points because it's late, the grade does not communicate about achievement. A grade cannot communicate accurately about achievement and serve as a motivator for desired behavior. We have to choose. So I say, why do we get a grade at all, or use an average at all for giving grades? Why not create a list of skills? This is what everybody who passes this class needs for the next course. That's a C. Add some things to it. That list, show me you know those things, it gets a B. I've lost my place. A standards-based system like this makes it very clear what a grade means. It eliminates that numbers game. It eliminates the extra credit hounds. and the questions about what a student can do to improve the grade. You've got the list. Show me you can do those things. Thank you.